Coming right up, a special edition of Straight Talk. Our guest tonight, Kevin Wattier, General Manager of the Long Beach Water Department, and Matt Lyons, Director of Planning and Conservation, as we continue our 21st anniversary year.
Closed captioning provided by Scan Health Plan. Straight Talk is brought to you in part by Southern California Edison. For over 100 years, life powered by Edison. The Press Telegram, your local news leader for over 100 years.
Join us for tonight's edition of Straight Talk. And now your host, Art Levine.
Good evening and welcome to Straight Talk. We have a great show for you tonight focused on the Long Beach Water Department. Our first guest is Kevin Wattier, the General Manager of Long Beach Water. Welcome back to Straight Talk.
Thanks for having me, Art. Nice to be here again.
You've been General Manager now for almost 12 years, and you've been our regular guest on this show, and we welcome your appearance.
Actually, I just had my 12-year anniversary last week, so it's been 12 years.
Congratulations.
Thank
you. I know that Long Beach Water is recognized throughout the water community as one of the best-run water agencies in America, so congratulations to you and your staff on high-level performance.
Thank you for that.
We want to talk about several things tonight, but I know as a macro concept, storage is key. Tell us a little bit about storage.
Well, when you think about California water, water comes in the wrong place and at the wrong time. The way we engineers and other water managers deal with that is store it. We store it above ground, we store it below ground. We capture it where it falls and we transport it to where we need it. So storage is really the key to managing California's water supplies.
And we'll be talking about that later in the show. Let's look at the water supply. Give us an update on the situation for the supply of water.
Well, it's interesting, Art. I was looking recently at the last 7 years. Normally in a 7-year period, you'd have about 3 wet years and 3 dry years and 1 normal year. I mean, that's kind of what the definition means. But if you look over the last 7 years of what water here in California in terms of precipitation in the Sierra Nevada, which is mainly what we concern ourselves with, we've actually had, of the last 7 years, 4 dry years, 2 normal years, and only 1 wet year. So we've been in a pretty dry period now for the last 7 years. So fortunately, that 1 wet year, we and MWD, the importer, did a really good job of replenishing all our storage. So overall, we're in pretty good shape right now, but we've now had 2 dry years in a row. So we're getting into that mode where we need to be a little bit concerned about what the future might hold.
And I know one of the challenges is that the Colorado River, which is one of our 3 sources of supply, was very generous to California,
right?
Because we could use the unused allotments of Nevada and Arizona, but with all the building, they've reclaimed their allotment, so we had to give back what was not ours to begin with, really.
Yeah, it's really been 10 years now since California was cut back. I think it was 2003 that California had to reduce its share of take of the Colorado. You're right, we used to be able to use the unused surplus Arizona and Nevada water. There isn't any more of that anymore, so we had to reduce our take on the Colorado about 20%, about 10 years ago now.
So getting back to basics, our supply comes from the Colorado River with the reduced supply, the Bay Delta through the aqueducts, and also the rain and snowpack.
Yeah, here in Long Beach, about 60% of our supply comes from our local groundwater supplies, which we'll talk about that a little later, I think. And then the other 40% is from the importer, which comes in about equal portions from the Colorado River and from the Sierra Nevada mountains in Northern California.
And we're lucky in Long Beach to be located over an aquifer where we can grab groundwater as needed.
Yeah, we're the largest producer of groundwater in the aquifer that stretches from Long Beach all the way up to the San Gabriel Valley. And so we're very fortunate. Again, about 60% of our supply comes from that. And the good thing about it is it's very reliable, and also it only costs about a third to a half of what our imported supplies cost.
And how do Long Beach rates, water rates, compare to that of other cities?
Well, we always compare our combined water and sewer rates to the other large cities in California, and comparing to that, we're either the lowest, sometimes Fresno is really close to us, but perhaps other than Fresno, we're the lowest of all the large cities in California for our water and sewer rates.
And one of the reasons for that, aside from the efficient manner in which the department is run, is that we can use groundwater, which is lower cost water than other sources.
Exactly. We maximize our groundwater because it's, again, it's only about a third to a half as expensive as the imported water. So we get as much water as we can from the groundwater and then only buy the more expensive imported water.
Let's talk for a moment about infrastructure. We're pretty update. I know you have healthy reserves and keep the plant in pretty good operating shape.
Yeah, well, you know, we also operate the city's sanitary sewer system. So we really, you know, when you look at our overall operation, about 80% of our operation is the drinking water system and about 20% of it's the sanitary sewer system. We took that over from the city in 1988, the sanitary sewer system. And so we take great pride in investing in and keeping those two pieces of infrastructure in tip-top shape. And last year, we set the best records we've ever set in terms of we have two key metrics. In our water system, it's the main breaks we keep track of. And then on a sewer system, it's very important to minimize or eliminate sewer overflows. And so last year, we set the lowest record ever for the number of main breaks. In fact, we used to have about 100 to 150 a year. Last year we had, I think it was 23 or 24. Wow. So we reduced that by like 75 or 80% from what it used to be 15 years ago.
And that's a reflection of an aggressive maintenance system, not letting things getting
Exactly.
decayed.
We invest, we replace about 5 miles a year of our old water mains. I mean, it's something we're very proud of. It's a thing that's, you hear nationwide surveys all the time about, there's billions and billions of dollars of infrastructure backlog. Here in Long Beach, we're just taking care of it. We believe it's our job, and we're taking care of it.
It sure makes sense to me. And the policies that the department follows is set by the Board of Water Commissioners, 5 commissioners, and John Allen is the president of the board. And,
correct.
And they set the policy for this aggressive maintenance program.
Right, they're appointed by the council and the mayor, and right, John Allen's the current president. We actually have 1 vacancy right now on our board. We had 2 leave last year, and one of them was replaced, and we're still short 1.
Okay. Well, in the next segment, we're going to talk about a very important subject, conservation, with Matt Lyons, who is the director of conservation for Long Beach Water, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Supported by Edison International. Californians are getting to be old hands at year-round energy conservation, part of our special awareness of the resources we all depend on. We're making the change to energy-efficient light bulbs, keeping warm weather thermostats set to a comfortable 78 degrees, and giving major appliances the afternoon off. Because when it comes to energy conservation, it all adds up. Life, powered by Edison.
In today's world, everything's connected. From the workplaces that support us, to the homes that welcome us, to the trees and wildlife habitats that remind us how important our environment is. When a bird lands on a branch, and in the midst of a busy day, we stop to watch, it makes us realize we're all in the same boat. The Port of Long Beach welcomes this world with open arms, an environmental policy that's second to none, and a commitment to shaping a vibrant community. The Port of Long Beach, thinking outside the docks.
Hello, I'm Jessica Hardy, a proud Long Beach native and a member of the USA Swimming national team. Having spent much of my life in water, I've developed a deep appreciation for the valuable role that this precious resource plays in our lives. In recent years, California's water supply has become unreliable. To address this reality, Long Beach residents have dramatically reduced their water use through permanent lifestyle changes. In doing so, Long Beach has made itself a leader in water conservation. As I work hard to achieve my personal goal of qualifying for the 2012 Summer Olympics, I encourage you to continue your tremendous efforts to use water in smart and responsible ways. So join me and your fellow Long Beach residents in strengthening the water conservation movement. By making small but significant changes in our water use habits, together we can ensure that we have a reliable water supply for many generations to come.